Alright, good morning. It is December 4th and we're opening the 4th box. But where is it? Oh, it's this one. It's this one here. It's like a little tiny box. So I'm thinking it's just an accessory. What do you think?
Yeah.
What is it? Oh! We were wrong. Okay, go ahead and open it.
Okay, it can't be super small.
There's glitter on it. It's like an Alice Tsum Tsum. Okay, so we stacked it up here. That's adorable. Alright, so this is my breakfast for this morning. Just some mango, cut up mango, and some avocado on an English muffin. And I actually wanted McDonald's today because I was talking about McDonald's yesterday. And I woke up this morning wanting McDonald's, but I was really good. And I'm just going to eat breakfast at home, and that's what I'm going to do. So, yep. Hey y'all, so right now it is after work, it's like the evening, and we have pizza for dinner. And I'm sitting by my tree, and I'm just enjoying my pizza. And I'm just kind of detoxing because, like I mentioned in a previous video, when I'm at work, because the work that I do is very repetitive. I work with numbers. I'm an analyst. And the work I do during the day, if I don't have any meetings or anything, the work I do is very repetitive. So while I'm working, I will watch YouTube videos just to pass the time and have something to listen to so it's not as boring, right? And excuse me while I eat as well because I'm hungry. So on my recommends list, it popped up like a video from Vice. I think Vice is the YouTube channel, and they do like documentary style type videos, and I like documentaries, as I mentioned. And one of the videos that popped up, it was like an hour-long mini documentary about like a vigilante pedophile hunter. I think that's what the video was called, and I was like, oh, let me check it out. It sounds interesting, right? And essentially it's like this guy who pretends he's like a kid on like the internet, and people will, these predators will think that they're talking to like a child, and then somehow it gets to the point where they're like, let's meet up, and then the predator doesn't know he's actually meeting up with the grown man, and then the vigilante hunter guy will like have a camera and like confront them. And it was like a really interesting documentary. I was glad I clicked on it. It was enjoyable to watch, and it was like an hour long. So yeah, so that video ended. I still had a lot of the work day left, so I completed that video. And after that video, you know, my recommends is updated with similar videos, like, oh, if you watch that one, watch this one. It's like along the same lines, and then it was like a couple hours long. It looked like it was documentary style as well, because mind you, I also watch like YouTube channels where they post like crime shows, like this is a crime that happened, and it's like this hour-long crime special. So then I click on this other video, and it's like an interview with this little kid, and I just was not mentally prepared with what I was going to hear. And he goes into like detail of how his dad like molested him, and how his dad is like the head of this Satanist cult in London. And it was this very long and detailed, very disturbing stuff, right? I think the video is labeled as like leaked police footage, a leaked interview, you know. And it was so horrifying. Like at the same time, I wanted to click off of it, but I wanted to also listen to it. Like not only was I intrigued, but I find it informational. Like, is this a thing? Like I want to know about it. Like, what are the signs? What is happening? You know, you want to know what's happening in the world that we're just not receptive to, that it's not in our face all the time. And it was incredibly disturbing. So that's how I ended my work day, with these couple of videos with these kids being interviewed on how they've been like conditioned and abused by their dad and his Satanist cult, and it was just incredibly disturbing. Now I don't know why it popped up on my recommends. I don't know if it's because like I watch documentary style things and that's why, because it's kind of like that, or if it, I don't know how recommends really populates, or does it, or is a video populated based off of like, no, I don't know what the algorithm is. Like, are other people getting the same video in their recommends at the same time? I don't know. But I guess in the video and in the comments, people are like commenting like, oh, this is fake, this is a hoax. If you watch the end of the video, the kids retract their story and it's really the mom that made them lie. And I'm just a little bit shook up by all of this. Like, my personal opinion, with listening to both kids' testimonies, and I think it was like both an hour and a half or 2 hours long each. I listened to both of them, and hearing their interview for the first hour and a half, like hearing their interview, it felt very truthful. Like, they were so detailed and very consistent with what they would say, and they had names. They were very quick. They didn't have to think about it. It was just second nature of what they knew to say. And then people were commenting like, oh, well, the boyfriend of the mom made them say that. And in my opinion, I don't think that's the case, because they're the brother and sister, it was a brother and sister, were interviewed separately. And they were both so detailed and so consistent with both their stories. Like, the amount of detail that they were providing, no way that those kids can be rehearsed, you know, and not make a mistake or not have something inconsistent. And at the end of each interview, when they do like the last interview, that is when like the kids will retract themselves like, oh no, I was just making it all up. You can totally tell in like their body language and how they were like stumbling with trying to like retract what they were saying, especially the little boy. He's like a year younger than his sister. And then when the interviewer would repeat like, you said this happened last time, did it happen? And the boy was like, no, it didn't happen, I made that up. And then he'll say the next one, like, this incident at this place, you said it happened, did it happen? He's like, yes, that did happen. And then he'd immediately be like, oh no, I just made that up. Like, he was so confused with like retracting his story. And it's not a happy ending too, and I think that's why I'm so disturbed, because it's not a happy ending. Everyone has like an opinion on what they think went on, whether it's true or whether it's a hoax. I honestly think it's true. No way those kids can provide that amount of detail and be so consistent with each of their stories, you know? There's no way. And I just think it's really sad, and I'm disturbed as a mom. I'm incredibly disturbed, and like the way they described it in this video that I watched. I want to call it a documentary. I don't think it's a documentary. The way they described it is that this is like such a big, powerful satanic cult that is like a pedo ring, you know? And it's just so disturbing. Like, I can't. I just need to somehow purge myself. I need to purge myself of this feeling. I don't know, some of you may follow me back when I reviewed a book called Living Dead Girl. It's essentially about a little girl who gets abducted, and it's her point of view of like how her life is with this pedophile that abducted her, and how her mind works, how she is conditioned, and how the way that she thinks is not normal because she was abducted as a young age and as she's conditioned. And I remember reading that book and knowing it's fiction and being so disturbed, but also knowing that that happens in real life, and then watching this interview knowing that it is such a big thing, like the pedophile rings. Yeah, I think those are a really big things that go under our noses, that they're really good at hiding, you know? So as a mom, as a parent, I am just incredibly disturbed. I'm glad that I watch these videos, but at the same time, I just have such a disturbed feeling and a feeling of what can be done. Like, I feel powerless. Like, what could I do? You know, nothing. I just hope that there are people that are higher up, that are not corrupted, that are looking into this, that are helping save these kids, that are something, you know. That's I think what disturbs me the most. Like, the amount of kids that are being preyed upon, and in comparison of the amount of people who have the capability of helping, of finding them, of making a difference. And I think that's what disturbs me the most. There's definitely an imbalance, I'm certain, you know. And I'm sure, like, the people that are capable of helping, like say law enforcement or higher up, that they somehow have their hands tied behind their back as far as like the law, that you just can't bust in somewhere without a search warrant, and you know, you just can't grab someone and be like, show me your tattoo. You know, you can't do that without cause and evidence. And I just feel so disturbed. Have you guys ever had that, where you just come across a video not knowing what you're getting yourself into, and then having your heart shattered into a bazillion pieces and feeling helpless? So I don't even know. This is quite the Vlogmas, right? Yeah, so maybe I'll just, I don't know, have to think about this more. But if you do come across this interview video documentary thing, I'm curious if you've seen it. Do you believe that the kids were lying, or were they telling the truth about their dad and his satanic cult? I absolutely, my instincts were, when I first listened to these interviews, that those kids were telling the truth. There's no way, it was too detailed. And then when the interviewer would mix something up, they were very good at correcting them. No, that's not, this is what I mean, you know. And then they were asking, like, they were providing so much detail. There is just no way. I know I keep repeating myself. If you want to, like, disturb your mind, go ahead and seek this video out. It has to do with a pedophile cult, a Satanist pedophile cult in London, in like Hampstead, London. I think that's enough info to where you could input it in the search and find it. I am not going to link it or anything. I can't. But I am disturbed. All right, I don't know if this is my last update or not today. We'll see how the day goes, but just in case, see you later. And hopefully tomorrow, I don't know, hopefully tomorrow will be better.